Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. Today's my topic for the video is a most asked question from my subscribers. This is regarding two questions. One is, can you file the visa of student and spouse together? And secondly, I'm gonna talk about how much funds you need to show for the spousal work permit or open work permit. Okay, so let's start. So guys, most of you ask from me that can you file the visa of student and spouse together, like most of you have small kids, or like you are married from a long time, and yes, definitely you have a bond. Of course couples have that, right? And you guys wanna come together, you wanna travel to Canada together. You do not want to, like one person will be in Canada and the other person doesn't know when you're gonna join the other person, like your better half in Canada. So people ask, can they file the visa together? The answer is yes, a very big yes. Yes, you can file a visa of a student and open work permit together. There is no prohibition in the regulations or act of immigration regarding that. Yes, you can file the visa together, but you must have heard this from many people or consultant or immigration lawyers that your spouse or whoever is the student, whoever wants to be a foreign student or international student in Canada should apply the visa first, and once the visa for student is approved, then the spouse or the dependent person should apply their open work permit or their spousal visa later. Why people say that? Why this is a general statement which you hear always from everybody? So answer I mentioned in my other videos too, but okay, let me put that in a very plain language. If you think from the side of a visa officer, okay, what you are applying for, you are applying for studies. When you apply for the admission in college or in university, you write a SOP, statement of purpose, where you mention about your career goals, about your past experience in your back home, and what's your study plan, how it's gonna help you in your career, how it's gonna help in your career progress. Anywhere in the SOP you don't mention about settling in Canada or bringing your family to Canada. Your SOP is 99% is about you and your career plans and your study plans. And visa officer is also granting a visa for the studies, right? So when you file the visa for a student, it's always a better idea to file your visa first. Let's get your visa approved first. Once you have your visa, like your study visa has been approved, then it is a better idea to file your spouse visa. It's always a good idea to file visa later, but yes, choice is yours. If you wanna file together, please go ahead, file it. But okay, but it depends. So many not depends, but it increases onus of showing the funds and other documents on you a little bit, because when you file the visa together, you need to present your file in a very strong way that yes, your purpose is definitely solely studies, but your spouse is coming for blah blah, whatever reason you wanna say. It depends on person to person. So in my view and in most of the people view, it's little difficult to get visa together, okay? But still, choice is yours. If you want to file the visa together, please go ahead. If you will go through the regulations of immigration, there is no prohibition, okay? I hope I answered this question, but still, if you have any other question, you can ask. And yes, one more thing, the people who, or the couples who have a kid 2 years 3 years, I know it's very difficult for them to like to mom to come here or to dad come here, and your kids are in home country. I totally understand, because I am also having a kid, most of you know. So yes, you can file the visa of kid together too, like 3 of you or 4 of you can file the visa together. You just need to provide all the proper documentation and you can go ahead. Okay, so this is answer number one. Secondly, which most of you ask from me, that how much funds you need to show for visa for student and spouse. Okay, so I have two answers for that. One, let's go by immigration regulations and acts. So immigration regulations, or I say in simple language, cic.gc.ca. That's a Canadian immigration website. Now it's, I think, canada.ca, something like that. We'll share the link. It says that you need to show, for a student, you need to show tuition fee for 1 year and living expenses for 1 year. That's for the student. For spouses also, it says, if I'm not wrong, I think it's 4,000 for this spouse, and other additional members, say you have a kid, then 4,000 for that. We'll double check, okay, because that's by law, okay. That's in the books, or you can say theoretically, this is in theory which you need to show. Now let's talk practically, okay, how much funds you need. So my friends, as I always say, that it's always a good idea to choose 2 years course. So let's talk about the funds for 2 years course. Say you wanna come to Canada for a master's and that course is for 2 years. I will highly recommend you, I will request you that please show your complete fee for 2 years. If you will not show your fee, it's not a good sign for your application. Show complete 2 years fee and living expenses at least for 1.5 years. Okay, it is like if I say example, say passing marks in India is 33%. Okay, so but if you get 80% or 90%, is it good? Oh, it's better, right? So same thing applies here. It's always a good idea to show complete tuition fee at least for 2 years and living expenses for 1.5 years. Whatever is your tuition fee, living expenses in Canada are generally 10,000 Canadian dollars, so 15,000, 15, 17, whatever you can show. This is for a student. Let's talk for the spouse. As I mentioned, a spouse and the additional family member, your kid or 2 kids, 4,000 each. But say you're coming from India, then it's always a good idea to show at least 10-12 lakh rupees. I mentioned in my other videos that you can show 6-7 lakh rupees. Yes, you can, because that's generally a minimum requirement which visa officer wanna see. But for two people, say you and your wife both are coming, at least 10-12 lakh. If you have that, that's really great. And 10-12 lakh rupees, I'm talking about 10 lakh rupees will be how much? 10-12 lakh rupees is around 20 or 22,000 Canadian dollars. It's always a good idea to show that much, okay? And that's for the spouse. Yes, that's for the spouse. That's always a best scenario. But if say you do not have 20 or 22,000 Canadian dollar to show for a spouse, then it's a good idea to show at least 16-17,000 Canadian dollar. That's really good. And if you can show that in student's account who is in Canada, that's the best scenario. But if say student is already in Canada and you are in India and you want to apply the visa now, then show it in your own account, not your mom's account, not your dad's account, not your uncle's, no one else. The money should be in your own account if you are showing the funds in your back home, in your home country, okay? Secondly, the funds must be maintained at least for 6 months. Why I'm saying 6 months? Because I highly recommend to show the bank statement for 6 months. If it is possible, like because most of us plan to come to Canada at least a year ago, and if you are a person who is planning for after 1 year, I will suggest you to have the funds from now. If you can show that fund for 12 months, from last 12 months in your account, oh man, that's awesome. I must say that's awesome, because if you have old fixed deposits or or any other form of money in your bank account, if in your saving account, because generally we don't keep 10 12 lakh rupees in saving account because we don't get that much interest. So generally people keep fixed deposits, and those are pretty older, right? So if you can show some fixed deposits, that will be great. And then you need to take an additional letter from the bank that that money is readily encashable. But if you can show 10 12 lakh rupees in your Indian bank account and from last 1 year, that's so good. That increases chances of getting visa too much. But if not, then please show for 6 months. Please don't do this that you have taken the money from someone else 2 months before and now you kept that money in the account. Please don't do that. That's like no point of keeping the money in your account. Then it raises so many questions for visa officer, that from where the money has come, what is the source of money, and if it is not matching with your income papers, your income tax papers, then it's even bad for your application. Honestly speaking, it's not supporting your application, but it's clearly showing that you have borrowed the money from somewhere. Let's take a scenario. Say for example, your mom just got retired in India and she gifted you the money of 10 lakh rupees, and 2 lakh rupees you were having of your own. So I will suggest you to keep this money at least for 6 months, if it is possible for 12 months, and then file your visa. If not, say just 2 months, say just it's 2 months and your mom got retired and now money is lying in your account just from 2 months, then it's advisable to show an affidavit from your mommy that she has gifted you this money to get settled in Canada, or whatever reason you want to mention. But please provide the supporting documents and supporting bank statements that she was having this money, because your bank statements should match with your income tax. Say you have an income tax return of 10 lakh rupees for a year, then if you're making 10 lakh rupees in a year, it's very unpractical that you save 10 lakh rupees in 1 year, right? We have living expenses too. So if you have 10 lakh rupees income per year, then the best scenario is you can save 50%, right? Or maximum 60% if you're living with your family and all that. So maximum you can save 5-6 lakh rupees in a year, right? So your money in the account must match with your income. And as I mentioned about the income tax papers, then I suggest you to show the income tax papers at least for 3 years. If you don't have, then 2 years. Okay. And yes, one of my subscriber asked me that that her husband is an agriculturist. He doesn't have an income document, then what document he should provide. So for our farmers friends, you can show your J forms. And I know J forms are generally in our local language, in Hindi, Punjabi, or whatever region you are. So get it translated in English. And for our agriculturists, it's really you can say kind of mandatory. It's mandatory for the approval of your visa. It's not written anywhere. It's not written in the regulation. It's not written anywhere. But as because in agriculture, income doesn't have income tax paper, they have J forms. So the money should be in the account at least for 1 year. That will give a strength to your application, because when you have a job, a salary coming in your account, then income tax papers are more legit. But when you have a self-employed income or you have agriculturist income, the income papers, visa officer doesn't feel like more legit. I'm not saying this, I'm just sharing my knowledge and my experience. Then when you have self-employed income and agricultural income, they want a little extra paper from your side. So I'm just giving you a heads up how to prepare for that. Please don't feel offended about that. I'm just sharing the things. Okay, and it's really sad that for the self-employed and the businessman, for the small businesses and agriculturists, it's little harder to get visa, because to show the income is little is little difficult, I must say, because you're not getting a regular salary in your account. You're selling your crop and it's coming in a season. You are in a small business, you're getting payments from vendors and all that. So it's little more, I would say, like, it's little more difficult for visa to understand. That's the only thing. And I think this video is little longer but I try to answer your questions. Still, if you have any question, please feel free to ask me. I will try my level best to answer. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.